right now? Does anybody know?
Dan Poppy is not in the office yet, so we don't know the answer to that.
I'm thinking about going through Sneak Farm, but you know what? I have an SUV, so I'm going to traverse it.
Yeah, there you go, girl.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started this morning. Thank you guys for being here. We've got Tracy with us this morning, and she was going to be in person. Thank God Paul's here. Now we won't have technology problems. But Tracy, let me make sure. Tracy, you're with us online, right?
Yeah, I'm here. And sorry I couldn't be in person. Didn't want to spread whatever I'm coming down with.
That's okay. We prefer it that way. All right, let's get started. We've got some birthdays to celebrate this morning. We have September 3rd, John Nugent's birthday. Oh no, did I not update these? Didn't update them. Sorry. These are not accurate. I don't even know whose birthdays they are. I did not update the birthdays. These are from last week, but happy belated birthday. Really? Okay. So John, yes, Sherilyn's the birthday queen, so she's aware. But happy belated. John Nugent, Nancy Carroll, Greg Fessler, and Tina Campbell Byers. So no birthdays this week. That will be why I didn't update them. Congrats again for our September anniversaries this month. We've got Thorne celebrating 3 years with us. Thorne, how long were you in marketing before you joined us? 2 years?
It was just over a year, or right out of a year.
Oh.
So I guess
cool. You're getting
4
old.
years, Carolina one. I know, right? 28, pretty old.
That's awesome. Thank you for your commitment. We've also got Jeanette at 6 years, Liz Rand at 7, and Jerry Weaver 11. Jimmy Northrup, we met yesterday to do a little strategy session. He's been with us 13 years. Marty Belk 14 years, and Katrina Johnson 25 years with Carolina One. So that's very awesome. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate the commitment, and thanks for showing up all the time. All right, just a quick reminder, because this snuck up on me. I know the world's been a little bit hard nowadays, especially for our veterans and active duty military and also our first responders. So just keep it in mind, in 2 days is the 20th anniversary since 9/11. It's absolutely crazy to think that that was 20 years ago. And you guys all remember, I'm sure, exactly where you were that day. And I saw an article in NPR Online on, I think it was on Monday, that interviewed kids who literally never got to have experiences with their parents. And they're grown adults now, and they don't have any memories with their parents because they were killed in 9/11. So it's just crazy. I mean, I think it was about 3,000 people died that day. And obviously, you guys know we just pulled out of Afghanistan, and there's a lot of chaos that came with that. So thank a veteran this week. There is on Saturday morning at the bridge downtown. Starting on the Charleston side, there is a silent 9/11 walk if you want to participate in that. I think it's run by the fire department, but all first responders, usually led by Marines in their full dress blues and flags. And it's pretty powerful. So be prepared if you go, but it would be a nice way to pay tribute and thank all of our veterans and active duty military members and first responders. Good. Crazy, 20 years. All right, so on Tuesday, September 14th, that's next Tuesday. I cannot believe we are in the middle of September already. My new nephew will come at the end of next week, if not sooner. So I will be blasting you guys with baby pictures soon. But we have a really great town hall coming up next week with Alan Ziegler and Bridget Woodward. We're going to talk about knock, which is another one of those bridge loan programs to help sellers and buyers when they have to sell a house but need to buy and don't want to have to depend on the proceeds from the house they have to sell before they buy. Andrew and Sherilyn, you guys kind of went through that a little bit yesterday, right? So they're going to talk more about it coming on next Tuesday in the town hall. A couple of upcoming events. We're trying to figure out how and if we're going to do an October carnival. We really, really want to. I think that's the general consensus. We just kind of have to figure out how. So we're going to have a discussion call at 2 o'clock on Friday. If you're interested, shoot Tony or Alyssa an email. And I don't know that we've confirmed for sure 2 o'clock, but sometime around 2 o'clock, I had Tony and Alyssa reach out to Liz to make sure she could participate, Alex Torregas to make sure she could participate, because those have been our two kind of spearheading the carnival for the last couple of years after Lisa had retired and handed over the reins. So if you want to participate in that, we'll send that out. We're having a lunch and learn on the 15th. Charlene is running that. That's going to be awesome. We have Mastery that morning as well, virtually, and Megan Moody is a special guest. Yesterday's Mastery was awesome. It was on gratitudes, and I know I needed it, so it was good. On the 20th is a Ninja Mindset class. I had mentioned that Tom and I had taken that. It was awesome. Sign up for it on Rose. It's a 3 hour, 2 hour? I don't remember. I think it was 3 hours. Yeah, something like that. It was awesome, though. Went by quick. I will be out of town. I'll remind you guys, I'll be out of town the 22nd to the 27th. We will probably do a virtual meeting that day, so that way we don't miss and kind of get off pace. Ninja Actions is on the 27th, and then on the 30th, we're going to do our second and third quarter meet and mingle because something happened where I missed the whole second, the beginning of the third quarter. Now we didn't even do second quarter, so we're just going to combine them. So more details to come on that to let you guys get to know our agents that partnered with us in the second and third quarter. Any questions on that stuff? Yeah, good stuff. Lots of stuff. We are also launching 12-week year. We talked about this last week. We are going to have signups today. We're going to start on the 27th, which is about 3 weeks away, and we will end on October 25th. So it's just about 6 full weeks. It's not 12. It's 6. That's why I'm calling it 12-week year express. And part of why we're doing a shortened version is not because we don't think, I just realized I didn't start recording the meeting. Oh, yes, I did. Not because we don't think that the 12-week year in full is really effective. It's just because I think starting something new that intense, again, we should just start in a 6-week segment. And if we want to keep going after that, we can do that. But it's going to get a little crazy with holidays and all kinds of other stuff going on. Good? Questions on that? If you don't know about the 12-week year, I can send, you can really Google it and see all kinds of cool videos on it. But the whole point of it is you can accomplish with the right plan more in a 12-week span than you could in 12 months in some regard. So you have to have a plan. You have to crystallize your vision and your goal, usually one goal. And if you focus on too many goals, you're just kind of like all over the place. You develop that plan. For us, it'll be a 6-week plan. We're going to identify hurdles that we know are going to pop up in that 6 weeks. And how do we already overcome those hurdles? That way they don't throw you off course. When it happens, you're like, I've already got a plan for this. And then you stay committed, you stay accountable, and then you measure your results. So more to come on that. Any questions? All right. Just see something. Okay. All right, couple of important memos. The girls sent an email out yesterday, 4th quarter MLS dues. Tony wants your money. So does Alyssa, actually, because they get a bonus if we all pay our MLS dues. So let's help them out with that. I know they sent an email out yesterday saying that they're due now. You can charge them to your AR or your card on file, but you have to email them and tell them that you're permitting them to charge the card on file. So even if you always charge your card on file, just email the girls back to that email and just say, charge my card on file. Good? Okay. Couple of tips and reminders from this week's challenges. Normally we do strategies that are working and winning this week, but honestly, it's been kind of smooth this week, except for a few little pitfalls and nothing out of the ordinary, because I think the market is actually starting to be a little more calm, which is nice. And it's kind of funny because some of you are like, what's going on? The market's too calm and quiet. But we like calm and quiet. So a couple of things pulled from this week. Earnest money never automatically gets returned to a buyer or seller, and there has to be damages. So think about this. When you have a contract and the buyer has a financing contingency and the financing falls through, even though the buyer has that financing contingency in there, and 99% of the time the buyer gets their earnest money back, there is no absolute guarantee that the buyer will get their earnest money back. Why? If there's damages, but they do have the contingency, so that's good. They both have to agree. That's why. Excellent. So if me and Tom are under contract, I'm the buyer and Tom's the seller, and I have a financing contingency, but I go buy a Ferrari 3 days before closing, and now my financing falls through, Tom might be so mad that he's not going to agree to release my earnest money. And he might actually get it, depending on if we can prove that I was negligent in my financing abilities. Now, if I'm under contract and I'm the buyer and I have a financing contingency and Tom is the seller and the loan officer just didn't do a very good job because it's not Carolina Mortgage. And it turns out that I don't get my loan because I can't get approved. That's a different story. And I'm likely to get my earnest money back. Good. So lots of these scenarios have come up recently, and we actually have one, I think we're 4 weeks into it, and we still can't get the buyer or the seller to agree to release their earnest money. And it's $10,000, which is obviously a lot of money. And both parties are moving on, and we still have this $10,000 in limbo, and we can't do anything with it. So we have earnest money in our escrow account for years in some regards, like years and years and years. All right. Moisture levels below a certain percentages are actually not a requirement to clear a CO100. Moisture has really little to do with the CO100, so why is it on there? What is the CO100's purpose? Yes, termites and yes, wood destroying organisms that would then cause what kind of problem? Rotten wood, which causes what kind of problem? House to fall down, structural problem, right? So that's why the moisture is on the CO100. But to clear a CO100, we don't actually care that what the moisture levels are. Who cares? The buyer. And who else? Who has a 30-year hold on the property? The bank. The bank is not going to allow a house with 27% moisture underneath because they know that's eventually going to lead to a problem while they have a 30-year note on the property. So that's why that becomes an issue. Lack of disclosures.
You do not have to have a CO100.
We just talked about that. Yep. Sherilyn said you don't have to have a CO100 for any loan except for a VA loan. Not even FHA. I thought it was FHA and VA. Yeah, sometimes. Okay, lack of disclosures if proven that the seller knew or should have known, allow a buyer to terminate the contract. So Justin and I were just talking about this morning. There was a renovation on a house. The current seller said, oh no, that issue is resolved. That was resolved from the previous owners. Turns out the current owners knew about the problem, but fixed it. Well, they don't have to disclose anything that they knew about and fixed, but if they knew about it and didn't disclose it, and we can now prove that they knew about it and didn't disclose it, that provides us a right to terminate. No. Carrie's question was, if it's fixed, does it need to be disclosed? No. So let's say I had $10,000 worth of termite damage under my house. I fixed it all, and then I went on the market a month later. I don't have to tell you as a buyer that I had $10,000 worth of termite damage resolved 1 month ago. Should I? Probably. Wouldn't you like to know if you were on the other side of that? Yeah. But legally, do I have to? No, because it's a problem that's been fixed. Okay. All right, let's go to some production. We've got some testimonials here. Alex Dragus, would you mind reading some of these testimonials?
I would love to. Let me see. Kathy was an absolute pleasure to work with. The housing market was a nightmare for first-time buyers when we were looking to buy. We were dealing with listings going live and then being contingent in a matter of days, sometimes hours. Kathy was able to get us in to see these houses and put in competitive bids. She was always on the ball. She helped us navigate the ridiculous market, and we ended up finding a house that didn't require us to sacrifice our firstborn as down payment. When we buy and sell in the future, I will definitely be calling her first. Yay, that's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
I have worked with Nancy Carroll multiple times and have always had an amazing experience. Yay, Nancy Carroll. Renee Kramer and Lee Porter are both true professional women and a class all in their own. Everything went as planned from start to finish. I want to thank them both for a wonderful job well done. Thank you, David Van Rensselaer. Yay, Renee Kramer team. I've known Justin for many years, and I appreciate his work ethic and dedication to whatever job he's doing. His professionalism and commitment to quality are second to none. He is someone you won't regret working with. Not only is he knowledgeable, but will go above and beyond for you. Way to go, Justin. Yeah.
Very cool. Love that. I especially love that first one saying that Kathy found them a house that didn't require them to give up their firstborn.
The firstborn.
That's what it feels like right now. Yeah, so crazy. All right, let's see our numbers here. We've got 7 listings so far for the month of September, average price of $486, 11 sales for 6.7, average price of $610. And we had 9 closings so far for the month of September with an average, or for 3.4 million, sorry, with an average price of $386. We've got a handful of agents so far on the board. We've got Brian Smith with 2, Collier Helms, DuBose Cuthbert, Elizabeth Murphy, the Fessler team with 2, Gail Young, Heather Piedmont, Jason Looney, Jen Huffman with 2, Katrina Johnson 2, Lauren Zarilla, the Leet Rand team, Leslie Evans, Mary Guess, Mary Maloney, Melissa Loy, Nancy Carroll Crick, the Poppy team, Paul Lynch, Renee Kramer team with 2, Tina Hartford, and Tyler Davidson. Very good. Awesome stuff. Great work. All right. We are going to hear from Andrew and Cheryl-Lane, and then we will hear from Tracie.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, guys. So today, again, we're still working on your toolbox, right? So as I've been referring to the last few weeks. So we're going to talk about private mortgage insurance. So it's not a bad thing to have mortgage insurance on a loan, but a lot of times people are trying to always figure out, well, how can I avoid private mortgage insurance? So when do you have to have private mortgage insurance? Less than 20% down, it's required, and it's always required on an FHA loan. So, so it's not always a bad thing, but we always want to save where we can, right? So, so some ways that we can avoid PMI is you can either do a piggyback mortgage. What that is that's you do a 80% first, and you do a second mortgage for 5, 10, or 15% down. All right. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac allow that as long as you qualify with the payment. And Andrew and I work with a couple local banks that do those for us. And they do a very good job. And I think they're very reasonable. So sometimes, and I'm going to get into some details here. Another way to do this is maybe you will take out a little bit higher interest rate and do what's called lender funded PMI. So most people will put 5% down and have your principal and interest. You'll have your homeowner's insurance, you have your property taxes, and you have your mortgage insurance. And oftentimes it's less expensive in the first 5 years of the loan for somebody to actually take a higher rate and not pay a monthly mortgage insurance premium. So let me show you what I'm talking about, okay? So here's a couple of examples for you how this works. So today, if we had somebody with a 720 credit score, we would be at 2.99% rate, and their mortgage insurance would be 0.5% per year divided by 12. So your principal and interest payment is $1,200, and your mortgage insurance is $118 and change. However, if you go with what's called LPMI, which is lender paid mortgage insurance, your rate's going to jump up to 3.625, but there's no monthly mortgage insurance. And look at that. Your payment's $1,299, so it's actually less expensive, and it's more tax deduction, because mortgage insurance is not a tax deductible item when you do your taxes every year, but mortgage interest is. Okay. There's a variety of other things we can do, but let me show you what we call the HELOC 80-10-10. So that's I call it a piggyback. So your first mortgage rate, there is a little bit of an add-on by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac because the risk is higher if you have a first and second mortgage. So the rate might be 3.375. This is highly credit score driven. And then your rate on the HELOC, the second mortgage, is 5%. So your principal and interest is $1,061, and your interest only on your HELOC is $82. So you've put 10% down, and your payment's $1,143. Again, this is for knowledge for you. I don't want you to get too far into the weeds on the math, just to know that there are different options available. And there's also the single premium mortgage insurance. So some people might pay this 1.51% cost up front. they pay for their mortgage insurance at the time of closing, and they don't have it included in their payment. So it's kind of, you know, in a way, it's just a different type of closing fee, but it saves them in their monthly payment. We were doing a lot more of those when it was a buyer's market, because you, the agent, could negotiate with the seller to pay some closing costs. I don't know if I would go this way today. Usually I like to keep my money. So, or I don't have it, one or the other. So anyways, or I don't have enough. So anyways, so again, there's just some information. I'm going to put these on the drive, but Andrew and I are always here. So if you're talking to different people, again, I want you to feel like you've got some really solid knowledge on that. Everything is not cookie cutter vanilla. Okay. There's always different options for folks. So here's some of the parameters about these piggyback loans. You know, it's got a higher rate. We have a lot of times these piggyback loans work especially beautifully for folks that are putting in a non-contingent contract, but are selling another home or a piece of property or a condo somewhere else. And they know that, you know, in 3, 6, 9 months, they're going to have a big chunk of change that they wish they had today to put down on the house now. So that's especially a great option, because they can come in, swoop down, pay off that second, and then just have that one monthly payment and owe a lot less on their house. So you're actually applying for 2 different loans. We do the first, we connect up with the second, and then so there's 2 different loans going on. So there are a few more closing costs on that second that the client will have. It's a little tougher to qualify for that second mortgage. The banks that we work with don't allow a back ratio of over 43%. So sometimes that can be a stumbling block. Let me see. Talk about all this. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to put this on the Office Google Drive so you guys can have it out there for you. So here's the pros and cons. Lower monthly payments if you do a piggyback. Okay. No mortgage insurance. So again, the whole topic today is how do we avoid mortgage insurance? You can pay off your second at any time and lower out-of-pocket costs if you don't have 20% to put down. Okay. Now, one of the things, it's a con, is you got to qualify for both loans, and you have to have good credit. So if your credit's below about 680, it's probably not going to be a program that's going to work for you, because again, lower credit score means higher risk, and the loan is already a higher risk loan. The rate's higher, and it is harder to refinance. And the reason it's harder to refinance is because you've got to pay off the first and second, so you need to have a higher level of equity in your house. That's the only reason. Okay, so let me see. Any questions so far? Okay. Yeah, a lot of people will have somebody out there who says, well, I can't do anything because I got to sell my house in Jamaica and I don't have the money. And I'm like, so we can come up with some of the plans for them. Okay, just as long as we can talk to people, oftentimes we can flesh out a different type of program. Anyways, or for those of you who are doing jumbo, did you know jumbo loans don't have mortgage insurance? So if you have somebody who needs a jumbo loan, so a loan of 548, 251 or higher, there's no mortgage insurance. So if they put we have a loan that you only have to put 10.01% down. Don't ask me about the 01. I don't get it. But anyways, you would think, oh, they're going to have mortgage insurance. They will not. The rate's a little higher than if they put 20% down because of the risk. So the investor on the jumbo is absorbing the risk and not doing mortgage insurance requirement. So no mortgage insurance on jumbo loans. Who knew? All right. So this is definitely another alternative. Let me see, guys. I want to make sure I don't go too far forward. Okay. Now, let me mention to you again, like I started in the beginning, mortgage insurance is not a bad thing. I'm sorry I didn't do a slide for this. A lot of people take loans with mortgage insurance. I'm doing one right now. The purchase price was $495. They put 5% down. Excellent credit. Their mortgage insurance is like $82 a month. Okay. And they can drop it after 2 years and they prove they've got 20% equity level. So it is a small, and that's a very small cost in the big picture of their monthly payment. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing, but there are alternatives to those that qualify. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, nobody in the chat. Okay, thanks, guys. I want to remind y'all, we're going to cater this lunch and learn a week from yesterday. Please, please, please sign up. It's going to be talking about closing disclosures and settlement statements. So how many different, very, very important. So we're going to talk about the differences between the initial closing disclosure, the final closing disclosure, and then the attorney's alta. And we're going to talk about those three differences. And so we'll have like a little interactive class. So, but we're going to cater dish and design. We're going to do the lasagna and salads and all that. So please let the girls up front know no later than Monday. Did you hear back from Barbara? Okay.
Actually, she said 12 to 1, 12-ish, but then
Is that one?
okay, so some will be here.
Okay. All right. All right. We were trying to figure out how to involve all the new launch folks.
You'll
Yeah.
get out at 12 that day, but if you have a foundations class from 1 to 4, then you won't be able to attend. But if you don't have a foundations class, you can come over here.
Yeah. If you're in launch and can you be here at 12:30, please let me know today, and then we'll bump this back 30 minutes. Okay. Okay. All right. 12:30, guys. We just moved it to 12:30. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, guys. All right. So Andrew and I like to remind you every once in a while about our mission statement. We're here to exceed your expectations and those of your clients. I am thrilled to say that on those agent testimonials, Andrew and I were involved in 3. I don't know who the Nancy Carroll one was, but we were involved in the 3 for sure. So yeah, so it's very exciting. In fact, I went to the closing for Kathy and sitting there talking to the young couple, and he grew up right next door to my new son-in-law. So anyway, so you never know. But we're here to help you guys as much as we can. So thank you so much. So thank you so much for closing with Leslie Evans last week. Leslie worked with this fabulous lady, Mary, for probably since last November. Finally found her that house in Avondale, right at the Greenway, because that's what she wanted. She wanted to be able to walk on the Greenway. And thank you so much, Gail Young. Gail found a fabulous condo, West Ashley, for this gal that has recently moved to Charleston. Andrew's working on this loan. And thank you so much, y'all. We are doing a lot of pre-approvals. Nia Swinton-Jenkins, Allie Sims, and Jillian Burke. And we have had a lot of people that we've been helping. Val Kelly, Paige Pollock, Jimmy Northrup, Heather Piedmont, Chip Violet, Tina Hartford. I had a letter. And Heather again. So anyways, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, let's hear from Tracie. Tracie, I'll click through the slides for you. You just tell me when.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see everybody that I can see. Hey, Alex. So excited to be here, and sorry I couldn't be in person. I was looking forward to it today, but wanted to start out with a little trivia for you. Well, a little kind of fun fact to start off with. So I'm sure some of y'all know that Stephen Curry this year, NBA player, signed one of the most lucrative athlete contracts or whatever. He is making almost $54 million for 1 year of his contract. That's pretty great money. So kind of looked at it and I thought this was a fun fact because in an hour, he makes a little over $6,000. Who'd like to make over $6,000 an hour? I know I would. That's good money. I was in a meeting last week and someone said that was sinful money. I was like, well, I'll take some of that sinful money because I thought that was just awesome. So let's skip to the next slide.
$100, $102 a minute.
A minute, y'all. That's insane.
God.
It's insane. So
Yeah,
kind of a trivia question for you. In an average, when you send out a referral, does anybody know about average from the time you ask somebody if you can introduce them, put it through to us, we take it from there, and we do all the follow-up for you. Does anybody know about what the average time an agent from start to finish has in a referral, your time? Guess.
The time invested? Yeah.
Yeah, the time invested.
20 minutes.
Very close, Alan.
15.
Whoever
1
said
hour from Paul.
15, whoever said 15 is right on the money, and I owe him a little gift. You can text that to me. But anyway, yeah, that's exactly right. It feels like forever. I mean, think about your doctor. Oh, I'll go to that slide. So if you look at this and I would say, think about your doctor or whatever. Your doctor comes in and he makes good money or whatever, but if you really look at it, he's only in there with you for a couple minutes. I mean, from start to finish, he talks or whatever. And if you really think about it, it feels like he's there forever, but he's really not. So next slide. Y'all want to make some of that sinful money? Look at that. In an hour, 15 minutes. So that average referral fee that an agent walks home with and that Carolina One puts in your bank account, because after you're split and, you know, the money to leading RE or whatever, the average referral last year to an agent was $2,200. You do the math on that, in an hour, it's about 15 minutes worth of work from start to finish. You make more than Stephen Curry. What? And another little trivia or a little fun fact or whatever, did anybody here, you know, I always love coming to your office because I always learn something, and Cheryl Lane does always a great job. I was taking a couple pictures of her slides because I thought they were helpful. But did anybody else hear when she said that, you know, this person or whatever might need to sell their home in Jamaica? Did anybody else think referral, or was that just me?
Of course, everybody did.
I hope so, because look at that. Let's get some money off that. And guess what? We got people in Jamaica that can help you. So next slide. All right. So this is where we need to talk. Y'all are an awesome office. Y'all are phenomenal. But if you didn't think that when she said something about Jamaica, if you didn't think referral, that's what I want you to think about. Your office usually does really well. Every year I give each office a goal based on the number of agents within your office. Right now, you're only at 39% of your goal. And the reason why is a lot of y'all aren't thinking referrals. You've got other stuff going on. Remember, you can, you know, just take a few minutes and think about something, put it into us, and we will take care of it. If you have a problem with, and I'll say this or whatever, because some people go on Facebook and look for an agent. If you have a problem with your computer, who do you go to? You go to Facebook? Or if you need something, you go to IT, right? So why are we going to Facebook to find an agent when you have a delightful Dulcie who does all this for you? This is what she lives to do. And if you haven't used her, you are missing out, because she is amazing at her job. So let's go to the next slide. So think about it. Everybody knows you as your agent in Charleston, South Carolina, but make sure that they know that you're proudly with leading real estate companies of the world. Break that down for them, that you are truly in a network. No other brokerage has this kind of connection like we do. We know these people and we're an extension of you. So if you don't know anybody in Charlotte, you call us and you say, hey, I've got some great people in Charlotte. Let me get in touch with you. You may not know anybody in Charlotte, but we do. We know them, and we know them well. We talk to them many times during the week. So all these partners or whatever, we have great relationships, and we're an extension of you. So if you look at that little map down there, that was some of the places last year that we sent referrals. And if you look at them, we sent them all over the place, globally as well. So just make sure that you let people know that you can help them, and I'll show you how to do that. So next slide. So this is where Delightful Dulcie comes in. She is waiting and standing by to receive your referral. And she truly is, we call her, you know, Delightful Dulcie, but she also, I changed her name to our eHarmony director, because she loves making matches, and let her do it. Don't go to Facebook to have an IT problem. Don't go to Facebook if you have a realtor problem, because, I mean, not a realtor problem, you'll come to me, but
don't do that either.
Yeah, but you'll have a realtor problem if you go, you know, because, you know, a name, I think your people, I believe that your people need more than just a name. You know, there's a lot of great agents in your office right now, but if you needed somebody to work with your sweet parents to sell their home back in Ohio, you're not going to use every agent in your office. There's certain people that you're going to think of. So while you know a lot of names and people know names, we need to do better for your client, and we need to truly match them with what their needs are. And their needs are more than a name. They might have been great because, you know, they worked with your client back, you know, a couple years ago or a year ago and they did great for them, but are they going to be great for Pam Bishop's client that really needs hand holding and all of that? I don't know. All we have is a name. Let's do better than a name. So we can help you do that introduction. You just go to C1 Rose, click that and fill out the form, and you tell us what you want. If you want to interview this agent first, that's great. If you want the agent to follow up with you, if you want a female non-smoker who loves dogs that basket weaves and has a CRS designation, you tell us and we're going to get it for you. It's your referral. We need to know what you want and we'll take care of it. So next slide. Oh, I think, oh yeah, okay. I was like one skip. So this is what I want to tell you. You can use whoever you want. If you want to use somebody outside of our brokerage, that's just fine. Outside of the network, that's fine. Just let us know who it is. But I will caution you because I can guarantee you payment with a leading RE affiliate if they close and when they close, but I still cannot guarantee you payment with an outside brokerage. A horror story that I am working right now is a great agent within our company. We referred to an outside broker because it was he wanted the right agent to fit this client, and we did. We did everything right. We gave it to the right agent. It was an investor client that probably had about 30, 40 properties they sold with an agent last year. We gave it to this agent. The agent knew full well that it was going to be multiple transactions. It is only a seller. He sells properties, buys them at wholesale and sells them. We got the referral agreement back. She said, yes, she would work with this client, this investor client, and then her broker got involved and said, we're going to pay you on the first 6, and that's all we're going to pay you on. They're not a leading RE broker. Do you know how angry I am? We've got everything in line. We did all this. They're in a different state. It is just a mess. And the nicest agent is the agent who sent it, and we are trying to get that money. And he said, you know what, Tracie? Karma comes back to people. You know, it's okay. It's okay. He's talking me off the ledge because I am ready to fight for him. If it had only been a leading RE, I could get his money. I'm going to have to fight and tooth and nail for it. Am I going to get it? I don't know. So please, 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 I caution you. I see these all the time, and they are always with outside brokerages. Most people are nice and do the right thing, but I run across those that don't do the right thing when it's an outside brokerage. Even if they don't want to do the right thing and they're with the leading RE, they have to do the right thing. And it really doesn't come down to that. So why would you send a referral around us? You know, some agents like to send direct referrals by themselves. There's no benefit to you to do that. So please make sure that you send them through us. We do everything for you. We connect you with a brokerage. If you trust that brokerage and it's an outside brokerage and you trust them, go for it. If you don't know them, I caution you, let's get a leading RE in there. We send the referral agreement on your behalf. We send the needs assessment to the other brokerage so we can find that perfect agent for them. We facilitate the pending and closing paperwork for that referral on your behalf. You get paid exactly the same way. You just get paid faster because when we don't know about that referral, and the check comes into accounting brings it directly over to us, and we have to start digging and do detective work because there's nothing on the check except a brokerage. Maybe it's for $3,000, and we've got to figure out who this belongs to, and there's no number or contact information on the check. It can go for weeks because we don't know. You're looking for your check. But if we know about it, you can get paid faster because we can immediately turn it around same day. If it comes in the afternoon, you know, typically we turn it around the same day. So why use leading RE partners? Because they subscribe to the same policy and procedures as we do. We have no control or leverage on outside brokerages. And we have a 60% conversion rate in 2020 on outgoing referrals. That's pretty impressive. And that's through our leading RE affiliates. And we can get you a 30% referral fee. I can't say enough about our leading RE partners. I don't have issues. And we get paid when a property closes. My pains come from outside brokerages, and most of the time, even the outside brokerages do a great job, you know, as far as paying us. if we have a legitimate referral, but the times that we don't, it is with an outside brokerage. So I'll keep you up to date on that horror story that I'm working now. So next slide.
Good luck.
I know, it stinks. All right, so this in August, Jillian, Thorne, Ashley, Elizabeth, and Dorothy all sent outgoing referrals. So I really want to put your name up here. So please think about sending outgoing referrals. It's the easiest money you will ever make. I've told this story before. I have an agent that she loves those designer red bottom shoes. And her husband's like, that's ridiculous. You're going to have to find some extra money to do that. So we talked about referrals one day. She was like, that's my thing. I'm going to send referrals. So she sends referrals, and any extra money that she gets from referrals, she buys her shoes and tells her husband, look at me. You know, did I tell you the average referral is $2,200 that she walks with? Guess how many of those little expensive shoes she can get? She can get a couple pair. But that's her goal. Yeah, well, yeah, one pair. But still, it's not coming from their checking account. She got her little extra money. So whatever you're into, vacations, down payment on a sports car, put your goal out there. This is fun. As the other agent called it, simple money that's fun to play with. Just get it, because I promise you the checks that I see come across my desk that y'all are getting paid is ridiculous. Did I tell you make more than Steph Curry? That's why I'm passionate about it, and that's why I love to talk about it. So keep sending them. Alex, you do a good job. I see you smiling on the screen. So anyway, but get those out there, and we love to, and let Dulcie make those love connections for you, and we'll get y'all taken care of. So thank you for letting me come visit today.
Tracie, you've got a couple of comments I want to read to you in the chat box. Elizabeth Murphy said, Dulcie's great, so quick and efficient. Only successes and clients really happy. Alex Tragus said, such a cute slide. I love Dulcie. She is really wonderful and very efficient. And Alex also said, you're so fun. And Tina Hartford said she loves how enthusiastic you are about referrals.
Thank you. It's my thing. I can talk about anything I'm passionate about, and it's fun money. All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks for being here, Tracie.
Take care.
Money is definitely fun. All right, so we've got a couple new listings. I think we've got 4 new listings we're talking about. We are caravanning one this morning, which I'm very excited about, and there's food there, so you better show up with your umbrella and all your boots and rain gear. I actually just bought a raincoat this year for the first time. I hate the rain. I was resisting it. I thought maybe if I didn't buy a raincoat, it'd stop raining in Charleston. That hasn't worked. So I've got my stuff. I'm ready to go after this, but let's hear about these first couple we've got here. This is about to be under contract. Heather Piedmont's listing. 1600 Long Grove Drive. Heather, do you want to say anything else about it? I think you're still here, right? Yeah, I see you. Yeah. Congrats. That's awesome. Heather sold this gentleman this house and now has it listed and actually is about to send an outgoing referral for him to go to Colorado, which is awesome. 7 Oliver Court. Greg, you want to talk to us, or do you want me to see if Abby is on here? He said it's active. That's all he's got for us. I don't see Abby, so. Okay. All right, call Greg if you've got somebody, or Abby if you've got somebody for downtown at 515. Paul, you are with us. Tell me what you want us to know about Bowen Corner, and I'll type it in the chat box. Postage size lot. That's in Hanahan, right? Like where Tanner Plantation is in the front there. Yeah. Super cute neighborhood. If you guys have not been there yet, but the lots are very tiny. It's kind of like Oak Terrace Preserve where I live, but a little bit tighter. Be simple, yeah. All right. And then this one, Wando Reach. This is where we are going on caravan, which I'm excited about. Dan and Laura are here. Anything highlight you guys want to tell us before we head out? Oh my God, she's making a face. Oh, that's okay. We don't have to do it. Yeah. Yay, we still get the food. No caravan, but we still get the food. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't excited about caravanning anyway, in case you couldn't tell. I was actually really excited about caravanning, but it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. All right. Anybody else have wants and needs? Melissa
Hey, this
Loy
is Tina. Never mind.
Hang on one second, Tina, before I forget to read this one. Melissa Loy has 3598 Franklin Tower that we went out and saw last Thursday. It's a 5-bed, 3-bath, 2,300 square feet. Just having an open house Saturday. So if you want to send clients by, zoned for Carolina Park Elementary, which is the Mount Pleasant Technology School. You can hear Melissa doing her advertisement, right? As I read this, investors pull about $3,000 to about $3,000 a month for rent for 5 bedrooms in that area. All right, Tina, tell me what you got.
I listed 146 Daniels Creek Circle in Goose Creek yesterday. It's 350, 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths. It's about 2,600 square feet. It's less than 2 years old. It's got laminate floors all downstairs. It's got an office, a loft, huge pantry, backs to woods, totally fenced in backyard. It's move-in ready. So if anybody is looking for something near the weapons station, go for it.
Nice. What else? Anybody else here? Mary, are you on? Maloney, you want to talk about, oh, I had one I'm supposed to read too. Mary, are you with us?
I am with you.
Do you want to share what you just listed?
It's coming soon. It's close to Simmons Street. It's a lot from Simmons Street on the other side of Coleman Boulevard. And much of that area has gone general commercial. So I can't say you can rezone it, but it would be easy to. It's a great investment property. But basically, it's a gut job or a tear down. So we're talking about location. All righty.
And what's the price, Mary?
It is $645, and it is a rental property. And I put coming soon because I'm dealing with a tenant. So, but with no other listings, I have plenty of time to play with this one. All right.
Do Carrie Walker says, keep your head up. All right. So Melissa Loy also says she has a need tomorrow. I guess she has coming in. Look, Seabrook condos, less than 450, 1 bed, 2 bath. Clients in town tomorrow. So if you know of anybody out there that's got something like that, reach out to Melissa Loy. Thorne's got a couple of needs, prefers to be 5 miles within 5 miles or on IOP, Sullivan's Folly, or any of the 3. House, townhouse, or condo, 3.3, prefers 4.3, 1.5. He also needs a, believe it or not, he needs a 3.2 ranch for 50 on James Island. I feel like everybody needs that. That one's for his parents. Just hasn't found the right one for them yet. Let me read this one and then I'll come to Remington. Peggy and Liz have a West Ashley listing coming up around 400. It's a townhome. Wait, hold on. Okay, must have a West Ashley listing coming up around 400, and also a townhome in Tennyson and Park West, and also a 4-bedroom, 3-bath on Johns Island with the math down. All 3 are coming up within the next week. So they've got a couple of listings if you've got anybody there. Kathy Remington, what you got? Kathy, are you muted? Maybe it was.
Can you hear me?
There you are. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I have a buyer need on IOP, 1 million to 2.6. Renovated bedrooms need 3, and hopefully with a view.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice testimonial too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. They were great to work with. Super. As was Shirlene. Thank you.
Oh, Dominique said she needs any multifamily up to 600 or 650. I assume that means anywhere. All right, anybody else? Dan Poppy. Let's see. I'm the same way. I do not want to look at my house and see a big garage door. I don't like it. Okay, I'm not that bad. Okay. Lisa, thank you for reminding me on this one. Kristen Davis has her Planners Point townhome that she's been talking about a couple of times. She's got it ready, staged. It looks awesome. I know she's had some showings on it already. It's listed at 375, 3.3, and move in ready. It's an awesome location. So if you got somebody looking in that price point, reach out to Kristen. All right, anybody else? Paul? Kessler, you should be able to find that. That's like your neck of the woods. East Creek, Westcott. What price point did you say? I'll go up to 6. Sorry. Okay, last one. Dominique's handyman under 100,000 in North Charleston or West Ashley has to be an off market, most likely. And Melissa Newman, Dominique, reach out to Melissa Newman. Look at that matchmaking. E-Harmony over here. All right, let's wrap up for the day and go eat all the snacks that the Poppies left us in the kitchen. No, just kidding. I've got a quick little mastery moment for you guys. So I put in the in the email that we were going to talk today about something that we all have in common. And as I was going through this, I'm like, maybe we don't all have this in common, but we probably did at one point. Maybe we all do today. Maybe we will next week. But at some point in the last 15 or so months, I would say that we all had this in common. And I've got a picture up here of this psychologist. I don't know if he's actually a PsyD or a PhD, but his name is Greg Keys. Yes. Does it say it on there, or did you guys know that? Oh, Corey Keys. There you go. I was like, wow, guys, you guys are good. I'm the one that told you. You're fascinating. But he kind of coined this new frame, and it's the new word, and it's becoming kind of a buzzword. And I just think it's really a very cool concept to think about. And when I was talking to my mom on the way here this morning, she's, what's your sales meeting topic? And I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense. So let's see if it feels that good to you guys. She has to do that sort of thing. So he coined this new term called language. You may have heard it before. You may have heard it a lot, but defines it as the name for the that you're feeling, a void between depression and flourishing, the absence of well-being. It can dull your motivation and focus, and it may be the dominant emotion of 2021. So let's dive into this second. He says languishing is not the same thing as depression, and it's not the same as burnout for two reasons. Depression, you're feeling pretty hopeless, you're feeling really lethargic, you're feeling really slow. Same with burnout. You're just like, I have no capacity to take one more single thing on in my life right now, right? And I don't know that any of us have felt either of those, but sometimes we've identified feeling either in the last 15 months, but it's probably a misidentification. Think more about this term languishing. This is exactly how a lot of us have felt at least one time in the last 15 or so months. And it's probably really in the last 2 years, right? How are you feeling today? Meh. That's the only option. Meh, right? It's joyless. It's kind of aimless. You're going through the motions of every day, but you're walking out of here and you're like, did I do what I meant to do today? Like, have I accomplished what I needed to accomplish? Have I made an impact on anyone's day? You know, you're just kind of like, I'm doing stuff and I'm here, but I'm not really sure I'm feeling fulfilled by this. And you're just completely lacking motivation sometimes. I know that in certain areas of my life, for sure, I am lacking motivation. You guys know that I used to be like crazy strict about my diet and my workouts. I'm like, meh, I don't really need to do that. And then 8 months later down the road, I'm like, oh God, now I'm in big trouble, right? So why does this happen? And where did it come from? Corey Keyes is saying he really believes, and a lot of psychologists actually right now are saying they really believe that this languishing feeling has come from the acute anguish that we've all been experiencing from this long haul of the COVID world, right? We've been really seeing a lot of physical symptoms, but nobody's really started talking about the emotional symptoms that are coming with that. It's kind of like living in Groundhog Day for a year and a half, right? I remember at points when we were having meetings and I'm like, don't you still feel like it's March? And it was May, because it just felt like the same thing was happening over and over and over. And then on top of that, putting your normal stressors and life challenges in an unnormal world and trying to figure that out. I mean, it's just complicated. But the reality is it just becomes part of our human condition, and we've got to figure out what to do about it. The danger of it is we know it's supposed to dampen your motivation and disrupt your focus. But the real hard part is it's hard to identify that this is happening. And if you're not identifying or seeing that it's something's going on and you're just kind of off balance, you're not likely to do anything about it, right? Because you don't know really anything's happening. So and everybody else might be feeling the same thing. So if you're kind of level with everybody else and we're all just going in the same direction, we could be in a big disaster 6, 8, 9 months from now. And the third part that Corey Keyes really pushes, and that's why you'll start to see there's a TED Talk on this right now. Elizabeth Murphy sent me an article from New York Times on this right now. There's a lot of chatter about it. And you know, with your reticular activating system that we talked about, Ninja, now you're going to hear this word all over the place. But we have to do that. We have to start talking about it because it is really hard to talk about. Why is that? Because when somebody says to you, hey, how are you? You're not going to say, oh, I'm languishing. You're going to say, oh, I'm great, right? Like, I'm living my best life. If you ask Rusty Hughes, call him up today, broker in charge of Daniel Island, ask him how he's doing. What's he going to say? Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Exactly. And why does he do that? Because we all do that. There's like this crazy amount of pressure to just live like everything is perfect. Oh my gosh, everything is wonderful. Couldn't be better. When people ask you, especially new agents in the market, how's the real estate market? Oh, it's amazing. So great. Meanwhile, they're like, I haven't made a single sale yet and I have no money and I'm losing my mind, right? So, and we all go through that, right? But there's just this enormous pressure every single day from all these different angles of our lives to just be happy, positive, and go lucky about everything, right? And that's exhausting and it's hard and it shouldn't be that way, because if we keep doing that, we're going to end up in big trouble. So 2 little scientific facts here. Corey Keyes' research suggests that people most likely to experience major depression and or anxiety disorders in the next decade are not the people with symptoms of those things, anxiety or depression, today. They're the ones who are languishing today. So think about that. Research suggests that the people most likely to experience major depression and anxiety disorders in the next decade aren't the ones who are experiencing those symptoms today. they're the ones who are languishing today. He further talks about his new evidence from him working with pandemic workers and first responders in Italy. I'm not sure why he chose Italy. I don't know, maybe that's where he lives or something. But his research determined that those who were languishing in the spring of 2020 were 3 times more likely than their peers to be diagnosed with PTSD. That's crazy. I know many of you, many of us, think when you hear PTSD, it only relates to military because that's many of our lives in the past 20 years, right? But PTSD could be from any traumatic experience. And a lot of those traumatic experiences have happened in the last 15, 18 months. So I really want you to think through that. I really want you to think about it. I want you to pay attention. I want you to soul search a little bit, have some introspective thinking, and say, what do I do about this? And I've got a couple tips for you, of course. Be mindful and set boundaries. I talk to you guys all the time about boundaries, and I'm trying to really get you guys to agree with me that boundaries are a really healthy thing. They allow you to respect yourself more, enhance your relationships better. I mean, I know it seems like a boundary is a restrictive thing, but it really isn't. And builds your capacity for more mindfulness later on. When you're not 100% on a task or a challenge that you're doing, you just shred your productivity in like little confetti bits of time that you'll never get back. So we've got to focus on that. I saw this cute little comic in the one of the articles I read. It said, give yourself unique and uninterrupted time. And for those of you guys who can't see it, it's a guy at a cocktail party with a cone on his head, like a dog cone. And it says, this helps me from looking at my phone every 2 seconds. He literally has a dog cone on his head. Talk about a boundary, right? Tip number 2, focus on one small goal. So we kind of talked about this with the 12-week year, right? This is what we're going to do for 6. One small goal. We have all suffered lots of loss during the pandemic. We just need one small win. We need to find the next small win after that. Small wins are good wins, not this huge grand vision thing, because we need little increments to get ourselves along the way. Find a flow. So ironically, Corey Keyes talked about flow, and I thought that was just perfectly suiting for us, right? He defines flow as something that can emerge or engage you, something that allows you to immerse in a meaningful conversation or challenge, and allows you to become so present that your sense of time, place, and self just melts away. So how can that version of flow fix languishing in your real estate career or in your personal life or just in general today? I know I put that thing up there. I love my clients. I love this community. I love real estate. I don't know how many times in the past 3 weeks I've talked to you guys and you said, I hate real estate and I don't want to talk to any of my clients. And I get it. We've all been there. So how can this fix that? Think about all of the people in your sphere of influence, whether they've past clients, current clients, future clients, doesn't matter. Think about your client community and think about the number of them that would be worse off if you in your job did not exist. And just think about that for a second. Who in your sphere of influence in your client community would be worse off if your job didn't exist? And some of you might feel like, well, I haven't had an impact on anybody yet. You have. Even if you haven't had a sale or a closing, you have. And they can't go through the process without your help because they'd be worse off, right? When you connect with people intentionally and meaningfully with the people that you're working with, it does something crazy. It totally shifts your focus to the mundane, handwritten notes, 50 Ford conversations, all your customer service calls. It takes that focus completely off of that, gives you a meaning and focus on something completely bigger and different. That's why we say, ask people about their family, their recreation, things they did over the weekend, their dreams, where they want to go on vacation next, how they want to send their kids to college for free. Because that's a meaningful connection that now you're like, okay, I have to call Greg because he wants to send his kid to college. That part is over because that's your intention and focus. It makes something different happen in your brain and thought process. And those people are the people who make what you do every single day matter. And I think that's really important to remember because sometimes you show up and you're like, who cares if I call anybody today? They don't need my call. But they do, I promise. So I feel like at some point in the last 15, 18 months, we've felt helpless, lost, joyless, aimless at some point in some sort of way. But we are, and there were, and there still are times where you are helpful, needed, and extremely important to the people in your client community, and they would be worse off without you. So my message to you today is, one, be mindful of languishing and figure out how you get through it. And two, flow does not have to be productive in a sales sense. If I go get in flow with Cheryl Lane and I've sold 3 houses to Cheryl Lane, I don't need to do a real estate review for her. I can just go have lunch with her. And that is probably more impactful than me doing a real estate review for her sometimes, right? And if that's what we need to pull ourselves out of this sort of thing, then that's what we do. Because flow can be fun, it can be sales irrelevant, it can be process irrelevant, and it can be interactive. And honestly, if you think about your peak moments of flow with your clients, you probably weren't doing a real estate review or showing them a house or sitting at the closing table. You're probably doing something fun like having a glass of wine or walking the bridge. The peak moments or flow are the fun ones. So find the flow activities today. Plan it out for next week, personal or professional, that are going to light your way out of the tunnel of languishing. It's not easy to do, and I can help you, but we've all been here, and I feel like now you're going to hear this buzzword, and I want you to think about it and then act on it. Do something about it. And when you feel it, call me. I'll help you, because I'll say, me too. I got you. All right. Anything else? All right. Thank you guys very much for being here. Feel free to stay for prayer. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. I'm around all weekend, and I'm here to help y'all. Have a great day. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.
Bye, Alex. We'll see you again soon.
Oh, yes.